So I want to talk a little bit about narrative tension in the essay "Leave Your Name at the Border" by Manuel Munez. Excuse me. I'm going to start just by reading the first couple of paragraphs here aloud to you, and then come back and talk about the places where the author is creating narrative tension right in the introduction here. So, "Leave Your Name at the Border." Dinuba, California. At the Fresno airport, as I made my way to the gate, I heard a name over the intercom. The way the name was pronounced by the gate agent made me want to see what she looked like. That is, I wanted to see whether she was Mexican. Around Fresno, identity politics rarely deepen into exacting terms. So to say Mexican means essentially not white. The slivered self identifications of Chicano, Hispanic, Mexican American, and Latino are not part of our everyday life in the Valley. You're either Mexican or you're not. If someone wants to know if you were born in Mexico, they'll ask, then you're from over there, de ala, and leave it at that. The gate agent, it turned out, was Mexican. A well coiffed in her 30s, she wore a foundation that was several shades lighter than the rest of her skin. It was the kind of makeup job I've learned to silently identify at the mall when I'm with my mother, who will say nothing about until we're back at the car, and then she'll point to the darkness of her own skin, wondering aloud why women try to camouflage who they are. I watched the Mexican at the gate. I watched the Mexican gate agent busy herself at the counter, professional and studied. Once again, she picked up the microphone and with authority pronounced the name of the missing customer. Eugenio Reyes. Please come to the front desk. You can probably guess how she said it. Her anglicized pronunciation wouldn't be unusual in a place like California's Central Valley. It didn't have a Mexican I didn't have a Mexican name there either. I was an instruction guide. Okay, so I'm going to pause right there. Just right off the bat in the opening introduction, we have some tension that's being built around the issues of race. We're first introduced to the concept of race in the first paragraph, where we are told that in this area of the world, a person's identity is sort of hidden, right? That there is not a distinction between whether a person identifies as Chicano or Hispanic or Mexican American or Latino, that people who are identified as Latino are all considered Mexican. From there, we get this detail about the gate agent's makeup. And we see that the gate agent is intentionally putting on makeup that's lighter than her complexion. So the author is suggesting to us that there is an embarrassment or a need to hide one's identity. And it's the kind of hiding that the author's mother would have been opposed to or would have found uncomfortable. Pointing to her own dark skin sort of suggests that the parents of the author were people who were a little bit prouder or who Mexican identity or heritage is more important to them than assimilating or blending in. As we continue on, we get the first bit of dialogue where we hear the gate agent call the name of a customer, Eugenio Reyes. Please come back to the front gate. And then we get the detail that she had an anglicized pronunciation of that. So she's saying it like a white person would say it without the correct Spanish pronunciation. So just in those first three paragraphs, we're already seeing that there is some kind of tension building around race and identity. As the essay continues, we'll see that the writer has an experience where he has left home, is returning to home, and is continuing to question how he is to understand himself, how he is to understand his identity and his heritage. So as you continue to read this essay, I'd like you to look for other places where you see that kind of tension building and where the writer is using narrative in order to raise questions about race and identity and racism and assimilation, right? What does it mean to try to blend in? What do we lose when we try to blend in and diminish aspects of our identity or even our personalities that are less accepted as part of the mainstream?